That's video, and we are going to uh, start our third session of today's International Conference on Arts and Culture, organized by the Punjab Art Council in collaboration with the University. In this session, we will be focusing on protecting our enriched Harappan heritage that is only possible by owning it. Only if we owning it, then certainly we will go further. The story of the rise and decline of the Harappan civilization is the gist of human beings' struggle for conquering nature and building an integrated, peace, loving, and human society. Harappan seem to have succeeded to a large extent in this struggle. Later in the stage, Harappan civilization achieved a high degree of sophistication, yet was imbued with simplicity and intelligence. This is why it is closer to my heart as my research work revolves around the revival of humanity and peace for developing or regaining, I must say, a more civilized society with a better moral values and improvised social norms. Should I introduce the chair? Uh, I take this opportunity to welcome all the respect-worthy participants, delegates, respectable chairs, honorable keynote speaker, worthy chief guest, the guest of honor, and all the presenters. We welcome you all with great pleasure for accepting our invitation and sparing your auspicious time for our conference. We are honored indeed to have you all with us. And now we have got two chairs who are presiding over this session, and Dr. Asma Ibrahim and Dr. Kalinda Lashari. Dr. Asma Ibrahim is an archaeologist and museologist by profession. She completed her postdoctoral fellow Fulbright program in ancient human remains, University of Wisconsin, Madison, USA, and has a PhD in general history from the University of Karachi. Dr. Asma Ibrahim has been working as director of the State Bank Museum and Art Gallery Department since 2006. With her, we have got the honor to have Dr. Kalimullah Lashari as presiding this session too. And he is a great scholar of medieval period archaeology. He did his postdoctoral fellowship in the Department of Anthropology at University of Wisconsin, Madison, USA. He's also a DAD fellow under this program. He did his PhD, postdoctoral studies at the Islamic Art Museum, Berlin. So we are honored to have both of you here, and we want your permission to start the session, please. Both of the presidents chairs of the session. We are looking forward to you to permit us to or allow us to start the session, please. Ibrahim Saiba, we are seeking your permission to start the session, Dr. Kalimullah Lashari Sahab, we are looking forward towards your permission to start the session, please. Can you hear us, please? Can you confirm if you may hear us or not? Dr. Asma Ibrahim Saiba and Dr. Kalimullah Lashari Sahab. If you may hear us, kindly confirm.
वो फोटो पीछे करके लगा दिया
So just to thank you so very much for the for allowing us to start our session, and just to give a little guideline to the presenters that we have got this session of 2 hours, and the the presidential address would be consisted of 20, 15 to 20 minutes. Both of the presidents would be given that time to uh, share their views about Harappan civilization. And then we have got a keynote speaker that would be addressing to the audience for 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. And then all the presenters would have got 7 to 10 minutes presentation time. And we will request all the presenters to manage the time accordingly so that we may finish our session well in time. First of all, I would like to invite uh, Ahmed Nawaz Tipu Sahab, Rana Ahmed Nawaz Tipu Sahab, Assistant Curator, Harappa Museum. Uh, we are honored to have him with us, and he'll be sharing his views about Harappan civilization and the measurements taken to protect this heritage. Over to Rana sir.
Assalamu alaikum ji. First of all, I would like to thank the all stars of the galaxy of archaeology and the other fields related to it. Regarding the Harappa for its protection, we divided the protection into two stages. First by the government sector and second by the stakeholders of the society. But regarding the government sector, I would like to inform all the honorable participants of that conference. The government of Punjab doing a lot for the protection of Harappa, and most of the scholars knows very well about the key problems of the Harappa, which emerged in the decades. First of all, the government of Punjab allocated near about 13 crore rupees for the protection of the site. And the main issue and the main issue with that site is the adjacent land which was transferred to the local people in the early 60s. And for protection of that site, the government of Punjab allocated 20 crore rupees for the acquisition of land. And in the first phase, that land, which was in the possession of the private people, was acquired, and near about 341 canals land of Harappa, which was protected in 1938, and that land was included in the present boundary wall. And after that, the main thing is for this protection, a boundary wall should be erected for saving that rich cultural heritage of the mankind for the posterity. And then after near about 13 crore rupees was allocated by the government for that wall and the other basic facilities. In this stance, you have seen if you from last 2 or 3 years, very huge amount of money was spent for the protection of the Harappan site in different fields, like in the extension of its gallery, its boundary wall, and new walkways in many fields for making it presentable to the local and the international visitors. And at presently, government is in the next CDP, a new museum will be constructed for the Harappa. And in the second phase, which is very important, because without the participation of the stakeholders, it is not possible for us, even everywhere, we would not be able to protect our cultural heritage for the next generations. In this regard, we have contacted the different institutes, especially the government schools, for creating sense of ownership between the students to protect their own cultural heritage. In this manner, we delivered lectures in the different schools of the locality, and the young students particularly informed with that message. We have to secure our cultural heritage, and we are the owners and the stakeholders. If we are going to disturb the sites or the harm in any way, that will not be very fruitful for the coming generations. And the local students were called for a different purposes, like the cleaning of the site. We participate along with these. All the students participated in it. And because whenever a student of a school or literate in the college site, if he collect a garbage from the site which was thrown by the people, and he will never do that in his life in any side of Pakistan or elsewhere in the world. And after that, we included these students uh, for in the painting exhibitions. And main thing purpose of that, we have to create a sense of ownership between the society, between the stakeholders, because most of the people around the Harappa having a strong thinking that the Harappan site is a hurdle in their progress. They are always complaining that the administration of the site, they stopping us to come inside and disturbing the remains, and other thing is, which is very harmful for the site and for its flora and fauna especially. And these things, the elements, instead of that, we were discussing the intellectual parts. Yeah, we say that the academic issues of Harappa regarding the language and other things. Most of the thing is that until unless we are not able to create a sense of ownership to the society around it, and the basic facilities for the visitors, and other elements for its protection, because that boundary wall issue, it is long lasting issue, and most of the uh, scholars of the and the participants of that conference knows very well the core issues of the Harappa and other facilities, because nowadays world is divided into a different school of thought. Some having that we have to create the facilities for the visitors, and some having the thinking that we have to provide modern facilities. Because thing is that in Harappa, when a visitor came here, he having the idea that he wants to see the 5,000 years old culture, not the new constructions all around it. And such things are maybe creating a bad image of the site, and the not good forest protection for the posterity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much for sharing your precious views. And certainly, as you said, we won't be able to protect this heritage if we will not do with. And regarding school of thought, certainly this clash needs to be addressed. We always find clashes to create the trouble. Instead, we need to be problem solver. Thank you again. And now, moving forward, we would we would like to I would like to invite uh, Atiq Ahmed Sahab to share his views, please. Atiq Ahmed Sahab. Atiq Ahmed Sahab, can you hear us? I would like to invite you to share your views, please. Sir, we cannot hear you. Can you hear us? If you may hear us, please.
Yes,
Can
I
you
am hearing.
confirm? If you can hear us, kindly
Hearing.
confirm.
आपको आवाज आ रही थी?
Your voice is broken, sir.
आवाज आ रही थी?
जी जी अब आ रही है. Now we can hear
अच्छा
you.
जी. Thank you very much जी. Thank you very much Sahiwal
Sir,
Arts Council and
kindly we request you to mute your any other gadget if you have open, because we are the voice is doubling. My voice is doubling. That is echoing back. Go ahead, sir. You may continue. Your voice is broken. Kindly. Sir, we are unable to hear you. If you can